customer wants a pickle, you give him a pickle, right?
Calvin Cocoa Pop.
Come on, people. What is going on?
What the heck is going on, man? What's up, man? How you doing, big guy?
You got a new setup.
Yeah, coming to you live from the in-home office studio.
Love it.
Yep, it's called the little corner of the house.
Every house should have a corner of the house dedicated to Talkin Baloney.
Every house. As a matter of fact, from what I understand, is you will not get the next stimulus check if you don't have a section of your house dedicated to Talkin Baloney.
That's
true
news.
I read it on the news. I read it on Google, and we all know the internet doesn't lie.
So, what's going on?
Just living this semi-quarantine life, this new world we live in.
Yeah, stuff starting to reopen?
Yeah, stuff's slowly starting to reopen. There's a lot of, things you got to follow, procedures you got to do, make sure the hand sanitizer is available, the dust mask, the same stuff we've been doing. Just
yeah.
The idea now is to make sure that the people coming into a business actually have the stuff on.
Yeah. How's
Not
how's the haircut situation? You cut your own hair?
Well, just for those with benefits of flash photography. That's right.
Fade.
Yeah, I do it myself, and I figure, you know what? Not only am I saving money, but if I screw it up, who cares anyway?
That's what hats are for.
Yeah, that's and thankfully our sponsor Dunder Mifflin sent me this nice. Actually, I bought the hat, but
Wow. Not really a sponsor either, but still.
Yeah, they're going to be one day soon.
Don't you have a new sponsor you wanted to promote?
Oh yeah, we do have a new sponsor, folks. We just got the check from them this morning. It did not clear; it bounced, but we're willing to offer them a second shot. But Polish Spring Water, it's a new company, up and coming. We don't know where the water comes from. Polish Spring Water. Woo! Watch out. It's coming to a city near you.
Yeah. Might want to boil it first.
Ooh, that's tasty. It's flavored water. It doesn't say it's flavored water. Has a color of almost looks like
the aroma.
Looks like a melted urine snowball.
Wow.
AKA the snow cone.
Sounds refreshing.
Oh, it's so refreshing. Yes, how you been, man? How's your things your way?
Well, it's getting crowded when you go places. I noticed that.
Yeah.
Went out
Scary
shopping.
crowded.
And, yeah. It's like there are too many people in here. What happened to the size limits?
Yeah, and I don't think anybody's practicing that stuff now. It's funny because I can remember 2.5 months ago, when I thought all this stuff was BS.
Yeah, you did.
And now when I see somebody with no mask on, I just want to punch them in the face.
That's a common reaction.
Man, it drives me nuts. Like, I'm not trying to sound like I'm on a soapbox or preaching a public service announcement right now, but man, just wear a damn mask.
So, what I thought today, we would remember on Talkin Baloney the movies of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Ooh.
The governor.
Mr. Universe himself.
Yeah. Do you do an Arnold impression?
Get to the chopper.
It's not a tumor.
Yeah. Oh, that was Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that movie. Yep. Do it.
Do it now.
Good times, man. He's a great. Listen, if you're looking for an Emmy award-winning performance, an overlooked movie of his, Conan the Barbarian.
A classic.
So little dialogue, but said so much.
Yeah. It was actually a really good movie.
Awesome. Classic.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you knew this. His very first film was Hercules in New York. And because, he was Mr. Universe and he was huge, they cast him in the movie, but because he had that strong accent, they actually overdubbed him with another actor's voice. So it's pretty funny if you stumble across that on a very late night cable TV. That's Arnold, but it doesn't sound like him.
I'm in a world of fiber and Netflix now. I might actually have to watch that tonight.
You should look it up. It's a terrible movie.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to watch it tonight.
So I think probably you started with his first real big movie was Conan the Barbarian.
Conan the Barbarian. And if I remember right, or is it Conan the Barbarian or Conan the Destroyer that has the guy that does the voiceover for The Lion King?
James Earl Jones?
James Earl Jones. He also, yeah.
He's
the bad guy.
He's the main villain. I believe
He's
that's
the villain.
Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah. What a great movie, man.
Oh.
I mean, listen, I've been known to sword fight in my day. Just the way you hold it up there and you
Well, I gotta go full screen for this.
look out. Look like I'm swinging a baseball bat. Dude, I'm telling you, man, that sword's got to be what, 80 pounds, 100 pounds?
Oh, at least. Yeah, so that was his debut, and then Conan the Destroyer followed that.
Yep.
You remember who one of his sidekicks was?
Hold on. Grace Slick was in one of those movies.
Yeah. Was it Grace
I think
Jones?
the first one. Or, yeah, Grace Jones. I don't know who Grace Slick is, but that was the name that came to my mind.
I believe Wilt Chamberlain was also one of his guys.
Wilt Chamberlain is in the Destroyer, or is it Barbarian? But Wilt Chamberlain's in there. He's the other guy swinging the axe.
Yeah. I think he was in Conan the Destroyer.
Yeah, that's right. That's the one where they go into the ice palace.
We should probably do more research before we do these shows, but
Who needs it?
We do call it Baloney Remembers, so it's not like this is a tried and true, you're going to get all the facts about every movie. This is, what do we remember?
Exactly. It's more about us, because it's our show.
If you want the truth, Google it. If you want some partial truth with a lot of, I don't know, Talkin Baloney.
That's right. If you want to follow us on Twitter, watch us on YouTube, leave us a comment. Talk to us about Conan the Barbarian. We don't care what you have to say.
Tell us what we're doing wrong. Just keep it under 150 words.
Yeah. Yeah, because if it drags on too long, you've lost me at what I'd like to see changed. Kelvin Cocoa Pop. Listen, I'll tell you what. One of my favorite movies he was in, Raw Deal.
Raw Deal.
Yes. One of the best. Listen,
86.
Arnold with a slick back hair.
Yeah.
And man, that dude could rock a wife beater.
A tank top, we also might call it.
Yeah. Well, so back in my day, we would have called that a wife beater, because if you would have saw someone on cops getting arrested and for, assaulting someone, it was usually a guy in a tank top, aka the wife beater.
So before he did Raw Deal, he did
political. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I was trying to cut you off before you got into politics. He did Terminator. You've heard of that one.
You know, I like the first one. I hated every other Terminator after that.
What about T2?
Not a fan.
Wow. So T2
T1
is considered better than the original by a lot of people. No?
I'm an original guy. Like, it's like Nightmare on Elm Street 1 was always my favorite. Jaws 1 was always my favorite. Same goes for Arnold's movie with Terminator. Terminator 1 is my favorite. Like T2, T3, T10, T12. I'm sorry. I can't say T12. T12 is patent pending with Tom Brady, but
Tom's terrific. So after Terminator, he had
Tom.
The back-to-back Commando and Raw deal. These are the movies I remember mainly as Arnold just killing everybody.
Yeah, so Commando was an inspirational movie for me and my younger brother Mad Dog, because Commando was the movie we actually took a picture of him out of a magazine in the Commando's getup, and we went to the barber shop to get our hair cut like Arnold in Commando with the flat top.
And you never changed?
Nope, it has stayed that way ever since. I mean, I've modified it a little bit, taking a little more off the sides and the back, but,
But basically, since 1985, you've been rocking the Arnold Commando look.
Pretty much. Now, I will say later on in the 80s, I kind of had a little bit longer hair in the back, but I still had the flat top. Rocked it through high school.
So
I'm a trendsetter.
Yeah, Arnold had a huge influence on your life.
Huge. Obviously, you can tell that I'm serious about weightlifting. Calisthenics, diet,
presidential fitness program.
Listen, I'll tell you, Commando, just from the beginning of the movie, it starts right into it in the beginning of the movie. You got somebody dead within 10 minutes, 12 minutes of the movie starting?
10 seconds.
Yeah. Oh my God. So you got, let's see. He goes to, when he finally does go to the island, it's just mowing people down, and the saw blade where he flings the saw blade at the guy, cuts off part of his head.
Yeah.
That's some great stuff.
Well, he was on a roll, because after those two movies, his next two, Predator and Running Man.
Oh, Predator, even better. Predator, all-time classic. Again,
one of my favorites.
Predator 1, the best one yet.
Definitely.
Predator 2, come on. Danny Glover as Arnold, come on.
No comparison.
You trying to pull? No, come on. Keep him in Lethal Weapon with Mel Gibson. Predator was awesome because you had the body Jesse Ventura.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who was also in The Running Man.
That's right. He's
the most famous of the guys that Arnold had to beat in the contest.
He was the guy that was like, "Come on, Killian, I'm wearing this metal suit thing. I'm out there with this garbage."
Captain Freedom. Wikipedia
Captain
tells
Freedom.
me.
That's it. Yep. But I will tell you, when you go back to Predator, you go back to Running Man. You got Apollo Creed in the Predator.
Yeah.
Carl Weathers. Come on. What
was so cool about Predator is, like, a lot of action movies would assemble a bunch of nobodies that the Predator would quickly kill.
Yeah.
In Predator, that group of military guys were all, like, awesome guys. So when the Predator was killing these guys, it, like, meant something, because it was like, oh, man, Apollo Creed? Jesse the Body?
Yeah, like, Rocky may have won the fight in Rocky, but come on. Carl Weathers fought the Predator. Had his arm cut off, and he was still shooting.
Of course, one of the most famous shots in Predator that you see as a meme everywhere nowadays is when Arnold and Carl Weathers greet each other with the handshake, with the flexing muscles.
The handshake. Yeah. So I was actually a stunt double used in that scene. No, I wasn't.
That one didn't fly.
You're all weak.
So Arnold, at the peak of his success, almost right there, ventures into comedy with his next movie, Twins, with Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito. Again, he was using that massive body of his to, win it over, but with a comedy. And you threw him with the littlest guy in the room,
Yeah.
Another great comedy.
If you haven't seen the movie, the premise is that Danny DeVito, who's like 5'1", and Arnold Schwarzenegger are somehow identical twins, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And in true fashion, Arnold's the sincere, just trying to find my family, and Danny DeVito's the crook.
Yeah.
Always looking for a quick buck.
Yeah, he's the con man and Schwarzenegger's the rube.
Yeah.
Which seems...
And he pretty much uses Schwarzenegger to, do his dirty work for him, because he's so big and massive, and it's crazy. It's a good movie, though. I like again, Twins won.
So after Twins, there's a nice mix of big sci-fi with Total Recall and more comedy with Kindergarten Cop.
See, now Total Recall, to me, again, Total Recall with Arnold being the best one. Then you had the remake with what's his name there, the Irish guy. Can't remember the guy's name.
Yeah.
Everybody will
know. Farrell.
Yeah, that's it. He was in Phone Booth.
Yeah.
If anybody ever saw that movie, you're wasting your time.
Yeah. Either one. The Total Recall remake is really bad.
Yeah.
Phone Booth is worse.
Total Recall with Arnold, phenomenal.
One of my favorite movies. It was actually the first movie I ever bought on Blu-ray was Total Recall.
Who would have thought going to Mars could be so much fun?
You'll never forget it, unless you've had your memory wiped.
Yeah, you too can refresh your memory with Polish Spring.
So Total Recall, directed by Paul Verhoeven, who also directed RoboCop and Starship Troopers. Those three movies kind of form a really good trilogy of sci-fi with a lot of satire, a lot of comedy.
Yeah. Listen, I never got into Starship Troopers. I've seen them all. 1, 2, 3, whatever they are. But I will tell you right now, Starship Troopers is not my cup of tea. Listen, the special effects were horrible.
Wow. At the time, they weren't that bad.
No, but giant bugs, and they were like, we had these powerful weapons, and they're shooting these bugs, and the bugs aren't dying, and
there's so many levels to the movie with fascism and satire and the dangers of letting the military control everything. Plus, it had Doogie Howser as a kind of proto-Nazi who could read minds.
Who would have thought? Doogie
Back to Arnold.
Oh yeah.
Kindergarten Cop. Pretty funny movie.
Funny movie. Kind of a love story.
Yeah.
A lot of good one-liners of Arnold's came out of that movie.
Yeah. I think that was also like one of his most quoted movies. I mean, the one I did earlier, It's Not a Tumor. But it was just like, that movie was everywhere. It seemed like it was always on TV.
It's always on TV now, too. Like, you can turn on TV any time of night, and it's on TV.
I think there was a sequel to that.
Was it really? I don't get that. Listen, they're probably lining up a bunch of sequels again for all these Arnold movies. There'll be different actors or different somebody coming out. Just leave the originals alone, people.
So ready? The sequel came out in 2016 and starred Dolph Lundgren.
Ivan Drago.
Yeah.
Excuse me. My non-COVID cough. So Ivan Drago, we're supposed to believe is.
Well, I don't know if he's playing the same guy, but you would take 26 years before you make the sequel, and then I don't know. Dolph Lundgren replacing Arnold is kind of a slap in the face. But.
Yeah, that's pathetic.
So at this point, in the early 90s, Schwarzenegger stumbles a little bit with some movies. Last Action Hero had a huge build-up.
One of the worst movies I ever saw.
Yeah. I think at the time it was one of the most expensive movies ever made.
The Golden Ticket.
Yeah. It was just a
the guy with the bullseye on his fake eye or whatever. And
yeah. It was like an action movie for kids.
Yeah. And plus it had the annoying kid in the movie that didn't listen to his mother, and half the movie is based on the fact the kid's not doing what he's supposed to be doing. You know, he was told to stay in the house till mom got home, and he don't answer the door, and he answers the door, and we're into the movie. Sorry, Arnold, but that's a trash movie. Straight trash.
So the next year rebounds in a big way with True Lies.
Now, I like True Lies only because Jamie Lee Curtis doing a striptease.
Yeah. That's like the first thing you think of.
Yeah, let's be honest. If anybody's ever watched that movie, they didn't watch it for his acting. They didn't watch it for the explosions. Okay, maybe they watched it for the explosions. But that's a runner-up to the Jamie Lee Curtis 5 minutes. That you can remember Jamie Lee Curtis from Halloween and that scene in True Lies.
That's right. I think True Lies was a really good movie. It had the perfect mix of like comedy and action. Tom Arnold was actually funny in a movie. I mean, who would thought that was possible?
Comedy gold, Tom Arnold.
Yeah. If you remember, Bill Paxton played a guy who was kind of running a con where he pretended to be a secret agent to have an affair with Jamie Lee Curtis. It was a nice little subplot.
You know something? And Bill Paxton, today is the anniversary of his death.
Today is?
Yep. I saw it on the old Twitter machine.
Pour one out.
We're gonna pour one out for Bill today. A little our Polish spring water.
One of our sponsors, Monster Energy drink. They don't know they're a sponsor yet, but what happens is they give me 5 cents every time I return one of their cans. So that's kind of like a sponsorship.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's those nickels add up too. You're talking, you know, it takes several dollars to run this show. So you start talking nickels and dimes, you know.
I mean, you're paying for a show just by drinking like 80, 90 cans.
Yeah, exactly. And listen, folks, we're not sanctioning or supporting Monster Energy drink. They're supporting us.
That's right. We're trying to help them out.
Yeah, we got sponsors knocking the door down. We got to pick from the cream of the crop here. And, you know, it is what it is. Monster's got a following. Talkin Baloney's got a following. Our demographics are kind of the same. You know, our yearly income's kind of the same.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a break, and we're going to continue the Arnold talk when we come back. I'm talking about.
Sounds awesome. All right.
And we're back. Talkin Baloney.
With Polish spring water. Ugh, refreshing.
Nothing says refreshment like Poland water. Polish
Nothing.
water.
I'll tell you what'll be even more refreshing come 2027. Jimbo Joe's coffee.
Jimbo
It'll be
Joe's.
the coffee you've been waiting for. Oh yeah, it's coming.
What a wait it's been.
Yeah, it's going to be worth the wait.
So picking up this
Yeah,
week on
let's do
Talking
it.
Baloney, we're doing Baloney Remembers Arnold Schwarzenegger. We covered all his big hits of the 80s. Now we're into what I would say the start of his the downside of his career. 1994. The movie is Junior.
Straight trash. Not even worth straight to DVD quality. It should be straight to the trash can quality. That's the fact that somebody even thought that movie up.
Yeah.
Straight trash.
So I think what happened is they said, Twins was a big hit. We got to get Danny DeVito and Schwarzenegger together again in a movie. And then they just said, and we don't care what the story is.
Yeah.
And that's how you end up with Junior.
Let's make Arnold pregnant.
Yeah.
What? It's trash.
I don't think it's what the fans want to see.
No, I don't want to see
This
Arnold
is Commando.
Schwarzenegger pregnant.
This is the guy who killed the Predator.
Yeah, he kills 30, 40, 50 people every movie. And now I'm going to watch him carry a baby? It's not even believable.
So almost like a palate cleanser, his next movie is Eraser.
Vanessa Williams.
Yeah.
Save the best for last. Catch that? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. She had a music career for 5
She did
minutes.
have a music career. It lasted all about a year. I think a couple songs came off of that CD, but I can tell you, let's see, she was also Miss Universe, Miss America, or something.
I think Miss America, yeah.
Yeah,
And she did the acting. She was on one of those Fox shows like Melrose Place or something.
mm-hmm. Didn't she pose in a magazine too? Isn't that why
let
she
me
lost
look
her
that
crown?
up. Oh yeah, Penthouse.
Uh-huh. Penthouse.
What's her rating on this show? I just won't even go there.
Let's just say, folks, she did some things.
Eraser was pretty good. It was like,
Eraser was good.
I don't think it made money, but it was at least a quality movie.
Again, a lot of deaths, a lot of explosions.
Arnold doing what Arnold does best.
Yep.
He followed that up with Jingle All the Way.
Again, wait a minute. Hold on. That was the doll, right? Or the action figure.
The action figure. With
Arnold was
Sinbad.
going through a dark time. Yeah, Sinbad. That's right. Sinbad was the postman.
Yeah.
Or the mailman. Yeah. Listen, it's on every year around Christmas time, so you're gonna watch it no matter what. It's trash, but you're gonna watch it.
It also has become like a cult classic.
Yep, it's got the guy from Saturday Night Live that passed away. You are correct, sir.
Phil Hartman.
Phil Hartman's in it.
That's right.
Yeah,
I believe the Big Show is in it too, isn't he? Doesn't he play Santa Claus?
he's one of the Santa Clauses.
Yeah.
Man.
I don't think it's a very good movie, but
No.
at least somewhat a success for him.
It's like it's one of those Christmas movies. It's like the Jim Carrey version of the Christmas Carol. It was trash, but you still watch it every time it comes on TV.
Yeah.
It's got its own little following now around Christmas time.
It's like the movie Elf with Will Ferrell.
Classic.
I'm not really a fan of that either, but that has become like just a huge classic in most people's eyes.
And listen, I'm a diehard Will Ferrell fan, but I will say the Elf movie is absolutely pointless.
Yeah.
But it's one of those movies you look forward to every year now.
That's right. So, if I were to say, everybody chill.
Batman and Robin. The worst Batman movie ever made. Besides all the ones with Ben Affleck. But we don't call those Batman movies anyway.
That's right.
They never happened.
I think you said it. Batman and Robin. Just a terrible movie.
Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze, not to get too comic booky on you, but he's like, in the comic book land, he's this tragic figure whose wife is sick, and everything he's doing is trying to save her. And they had that element in the movie, but then every time he spoke, it was just a pun.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Ice Age.
Listen, no matter what movie Arnold is in, every movie of his has a pun that you can remember. Think about Predator when he threw the knife at the guy and the knife stuck in him and he's like, sticking around.
I guess the puns don't bother you that much in those movies.
No.
But when a guy is covered in blue and shooting a gun that freezes people, I don't think at that point you need to say, okay, everybody chill.
You know, the sad part was there's probably people, the diehard Batman people out there are probably like, that was one of the greatest characters ever. Well, you should see a psychiatrist. That's what I'd say.
I will say that it is a movie that is so bad that you can rewatch it because it is so bad. Mm-hmm. Like, it's entertaining to see just how bad it is across the board.
Yeah. You know, it's one of those movies where I
got it on Blu-ray.
I was going to say, I got it on Blu-ray. Straight. Listen, it was on special, $9.99 in the closeout container.
Oh, more like $3.99, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, as a matter of fact, Walmart's probably giving them away at the register when you come through with a mask on. They're like, you got a mask on? Here's a free Batman and Robin movie.
No. Take it.
Straight trash. Absolutely terrible movie. Terrible movie.
So after that, Arnold had back-to-back movies, End of Days and The Sixth Day. Both kind of apocalypse, hell comes to earth kind of movies.
Now, see, I liked End of Days because it was a darker character for him. And, I mean, let's be honest. You can kind of see the End of Days happening right now.
But there was something there.
But we don't talk politics and religion on this show. So that's all you're getting from me. But that was definitely one of his darker characters, and I got to say that it was actually pretty decent.
Yeah, that's not my favorite style of movie, but it was good. His character name in that movie, do you remember?
No.
Jericho Kane.
Jericho
Kane.
Huh. Jericho Kane.
Yeah. That's also a little like two on the nose, isn't it?
Yeah. Jericho Kane. What the hell did he come up with that one for? Maybe they were watching an old WWF match between Chris Jericho and Kane.
That could be. Schwarzenegger does have a connection to wrestling.
Does have a connection to wrestling. He is in their Hall of Fame.
So, Arnold around this time started getting into politics, and in 2003, the movie The Rundown with The Rock, he did kind of a proverbial passing of the torch scene. Do you remember that?
The Rundown. The Rundown is it's the
Sean
Rock
William
with-
Scott.
Yeah, he's like a casino in there, and the guy from Jackass or something is in there, right?
No, that's Walking Tall, a different Rock movie.
That's the Rock. This
is
all right, so
Sean William Scott, the Stifler from the American Pie movies, and The Rock has to go to like South America to bring him back.
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, in the scene early in the movie, The Rock is entering the club, and Arnold is exiting the club at the same time. And
that's right. I remember that now. I remember that.
And they made a big deal out of that. Like, this was filmed entirely as kind of a passing the baton, like Arnold saying goodbye to action movies and The Rock becoming the next big guy.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was cool. And The Rundown was actually a pretty good movie.
And to be honest with you, it's kind of panned out that way for The Rock, too.
It has.
Yeah.
So Arnold
Honestly,
goes and... What's that?
It's not a movie that man's in. It's not good.
Well, he had that period where he started doing too many like kids comedies as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the one where he's the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was garbage.
Yeah, Rock fans, we tend to ignore those movies.
Yeah, that wasn't him. That was a stunt double.
He also lost all his muscle for those movies, so it really doesn't look like him.
Yeah, garbage.
So Arnold runs the state of California for a few years, and he comes back in The Expendables.
See, you know what? Again, The Expendables is a good action-packed movie if you want to watch a lot of things blow up. It's a lot of cameos, a lot of, bringing back the old generation, putting them all back together again. But the first one was okay to me. Second one, I don't know, man. It's kind of the same plot every movie.
Yeah, it really is.
It really is just continuation of the first one, the second one. It's like they just roll them. Just have one 10-hour Expendables movie, and there's the whole thing.
And the first one was like a huge hit, all things considered.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the last couple have really actually done anything. I think people saw that first one and thought, well, this is really cool, all these guys in one movie. But then once you've seen it, why do you need to see it again and again and again?
Yeah. It's unless you're going to kill them all off one at a time, or that was what I would do. Like, if I was me, I'd be like, some bad guy is hunting down all of them.
Like Predator.
Killing them all one at a time. Yeah, like Predator. Matter of fact, The Expendables versus Predator.
You just hit a home run right there. That's $1 billion idea.
I'll write the script. Spielberg, talk to me. Call my peoples.
From the guy who invented Polish Spring, you'd think they'd be knocking down your door. So Arnold, he's done a bunch of movies the last few years. I don't know if you've seen any of these. The Last Stand.
Trash.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Is that where he's the sheriff?
He's the sheriff of a small town, and a big criminal is on a path.
Yep.
Right through his little burg.
Yeah.
No, not a fan?
Nah, he's on the downhill slide of his career now. So when he starts venturing out into these areas where he's got the gray beard and the,
I like that.
You do?
I like that he's not afraid to act his age. When I see him, with the beard and he looks old, I feel that's natural. When I see Sylvester Stallone, who I think is older than Arnold, with his, jet black hair, The guy's in his mid-70s. Not buying it.
Very true. Very true. I agree with you on that one.
The movie Sabotage, 2014. He was the commander of an elite police force that were
Expendables.
battling the cartel.
Yep, it's Expendables, but with Arnold as the lead instead of Sylvester Stallone.
And without any star power besides Arnold.
Yeah, no star power at all.
He did a zombie movie, Maggie.
Oh, that's the one where the daughter, right, has
his daughter.
She's the anti-venom or virus or whatever. Yeah, it's turning. That's it.
Yeah, and he's trying to keep her safe and save her while battling zombies.
Yeah.
Not a fan?
Not.
All right.
No.
You're a tough sell on How about... Well, we already kind of talked about some of these Terminator movies, but I want to talk about Terminator Genisys. Did you see that one? That one, through time travel, kind of redid some of the scenes from the original Terminator that you're a big fan of, and had modern, older Arnold fighting younger 1980 Arnold Terminator.
Well, thank God for CGI, I guess.
Yeah. I think there was a little bit of CGI.
I'm sure they probably could have they could have had their people reach out to my people, called me, and I would have happily filled in as a stunt double for Arnold again.
It makes sense.
I mean, look at me.
So that movie overall, it was a pretty terrible movie. They did some cool stuff trying to tie it together with the history, but overall it wasn't very good. And then to follow the path of all Terminator movies, the very next Terminator that came out just completely ignored all the events of it. So Terminator Dark Fate, which came out last year, had the return of Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor. And was probably just as bad.
So I watched about 10 minutes of that movie. It said I can't do it.
Yeah.
You've seen it play out so many times. Like, okay, they're going to come and take over the world, and then we're going to fight them off. Then they're going to come back and try to take over the world in part 2, and then we're going to fend them off. And it's going to happen. Listen, I'm so against these movies that are like, go all the way back to Star Wars, and all these movies were like Star Wars 1, 2, Return of the Jedi, whatever. And now they're going back and doing what led up to Star Wars 1. I can't stand movies that do that. And Terminator's doing it too.
Well, like I said, Terminator's even worse because it's like every movie ignores what had just happened. So let's say you are a fan of Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. Well, everything in that movie's been wiped out. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you like Terminator 4, tough. Wiped out.
Yeah.
It's
you're just glossing over the fact that everything's gone.
Yeah.
Why, people? Why?
So, Arnold Schwarzenegger. 72 years old. Still making movies. But the overall census seems to be they're not that good anymore.
I'm sure at some point he'll rebound with some big movie, whether it's a Netflix movie or because Netflix seems to have tons of money and they're paying everybody. It seems if you want to reinvent your career, you go to Netflix. By the way, speaking of Netflix, I did watch that movie you recommended.
Extraction?
Yes. Awesome movie.
Nice.
Awesome movie. Fight scenes, amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thor.
Great movie. Thor, man. The only thing that was missing was the big hammer. But then it wouldn't have been believable.
He seems like a guy who could be like the next Schwarzenegger. He could be another Rock. He could do action and he can have comedy in there.
He has that build. Yeah. He has that physique. He could play Conan in a movie.
He could. That's another good idea from Jim Deezy.
Right here. Studios are open.
This is all the beauty of the show is it's like a direct line from you to Hollywood to get ideas out.
I'm willing to sell my ideas for pennies on the dollar.
And we'll be right back to wrap up the show after this.
Woo-hoo, right back. Man, whoever wrote that music was awesome. Awesome. It should be trending in iTunes right now. Top 10 at least.
We should put that up on the iTunes store.
Yeah, I'm serious. I'd want that as my ringtone.
So we had a really good show today.
Yeah, we did. I was man, going back in the 80s and 90s, movies and
it's right up our alley. Yeah.
Arnold. Just all I can really say, Arnold.
Yeah. Overall, I mean, he's had an incredible career. To go from a guy who was a weightlifter to a guy who's been one of the biggest box office draws in the history of movies, it's pretty amazing. And he was the governor of California.
Yeah. Yeah. The man's done it all. Literally done it all.
It really has.
And look good doing it.
You're obsessed with how he looks.
Man, I'd love to look a fraction of how that man looks. I mean, obviously I do, but it's you know what I mean.
You'd like to be a higher fraction.
Yeah, a higher fraction. Oh man, we did have a little rough patch this past week though. We ended the week. Melly Mel's father passed away, so we want to give a little shout out to him. You know, great man. Always looked out for his family and friends. It seems like we're too many of these people, family members passing away these days. But shout out to Dale, man. He was one of a kind.
And he was a listener here of Talkin Baloney.
He was one of our first listeners of Talkin Baloney on our podcast. Love the show too. Yep.
Well, we're all gonna miss him.
Yeah, we will. We will. But we'll be remembering you on these next when we finally break that millionth show and we log over 1 million subscribers.
And we're gonna be starting the path to 1 million with next week's show because we got a big episode planned.
We do. But you're gonna have to watch to find out.
Exactly. So until then,
the G.I. Joe episode was hot. Oh yeah,
with great feedback on the G.I. Joe episode.
You know, I gotta hand it to the Ant-Man. I thought he was gonna be on the show. Thought he was gonna be a little stiff.
No,
the man is a natural.
He did a great job.
He's a natural. Yeah, great job. Great performance. I mean, it's not Oscar worthy or anything like that, but I mean, he'll at least get a Razzie for it.
And there's so much to explore in his little basement of toys that I'm sure we could do another episode just on what else is in his basement.
Ooh, maybe we bring that show to you. What's in Anthony's basement?
That could be a new running theme. We'll just do that for all our guests. We'll surprise it on
Talkin Baloney in the basement.
What's in your basement?
Hey.
So until then, Baloney Nation, for Jim Deezy, this is the big guy.
And we're at Am-Pat.
If a customer wants a pickle, you give them a pickle, right?
they talk about